the long-term viability of Bitcoin.
I was going to say, did that surprise you?
That surprised me how much that's gone up. I mean, look, it is. We're creating now a market that has more liquidity, more transparency, and I'm pleasantly surprised, and I would never have predicted it before we filed it, that we were going to see this type of retail demand.
So you thought you'd do good, but not this good.
I thought, yes.
Well, IBIT is your ETF over at iShares.
Yes.
It's about to overtake Grayscale, which was in the business certainly a lot longer. You look at the gains since January 11th when it first came about.
Yes.
Have you ever seen this much inflow this quickly into
IBIT is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs. Nothing has gained assets as fast as IBIT in the history of ETFs.
So Ether is next with an ETF?
We'll see. That's under registration.
Okay, so let's just not talk about your product.
Right.
Talk about Ether. The SEC, there's lots of noise about them declaring Ether a security, which would take it out of the Bitcoin category as a commodity. How does that translate into an ETF?
I don't think that, look, and I really can't talk about it, but I don't think that designation is going to be that deterious to.
Oh, really? So even if it's a security, you can start an ETF, an ETH ETF?
I think so, yeah.
Well, that's wild.
And the backdrop to the quickening advance of digital currency networks is the increasingly multipolar, complex, and fragmented world that we live in.
Going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box, provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And very much a traditionalist. I like staying with the dollar. You know that from when I was there. It's make the dollar the choice. I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar. And
welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. Remember, the New World Order book shows you how the world really works, and it is definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. And 2024 is going to be one of our most entertaining years. We have the presidential election. We have the drums are beating. We have the emerging markets going to be flipping the switch on the fourth industrial revolution. Now, we had the Fed signal rate cuts, but remember, guys, they haven't cut rates yet. So like I told you, I definitely see a big pullback in the first quarter. Then the master magician set up a distraction so the Fed can cut rates, and then we move up. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now, we have Bitcoin and crypto slightly up, guys. We know on the weekend, we are the only game in town. And we know what happens at the beginning of each month. It's like clockwork. Guys, get yourselves in position. We know Coinbase is launching futures for Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. Plus, we have the halving next month. Also, we have earnings calls to start. And also, when it comes to earnings numbers, we know they've been manipulated also. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Now, guys, do not forget to pay attention to the actual indicators. We have yield rates, which was slightly up on Thursday. We have the dollar slightly up on Thursday. We have volume and crypto down. We have Tether, USDC. And then, of course, guys, we have the Fed. Repo moved up to $594 billion on Thursday. And we know why. More manipulation when it comes to yields. And then also, guys, we see the dealers coming in to save the day. And all the reports that we keep getting, inflation is sticking around. Even when they take out the most important elements. We know inflation probably is at 7 to 15%. And Janet Yellen clearly told us Pricing is not coming down. Remember, it's all about corporate greed. It's the illusion of choice. All these companies go by different names, but they're held by a handful of companies. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have Custodial Bank gets rejected again. The court sides with the Fed, stating that they cannot have a master account at the Fed. And that definitely shouldn't be surprising. I care not who makes the laws if I'm controlling your money supply. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, guys, do not forget about the Bitcoin Spot ETFs. We have BlackRock, Fidelity, Grayscale, all flat. Now, we have Grayscale introduces crypto investment fund that prioritizing staking rewards. And in order to be eligible, you have to have 1.1 million in assets under management or a $2.2 million net worth. And they're probably doing that in order to meet the SEC requirements. Now we have base transaction and DEX volume surge to new all-time highs. Also, we had Bitfinex resolve platform's outage after briefly halting trading. And I'm going to make sure I keep an eye on that because we know the history of Bitfinex. And then lastly, guys, we have BlackRock's Larry Fink has done a 360 when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Why, guys? Because now they're ready to bring it to the sheet. They have total control over the industry. Remember Satoshi? The whole point of it was to get rid of the banks. But guys, when we look behind the curtain, go underneath the cover, we see big banks and big corporations have been funding crypto from the beginning. So that means that there's an agenda. That means that there is a plan. And that plan is the fourth industrial revolution. That plan includes a virtual world. That plan includes robots, algorithms, and drones, self-driving cars, AI being embedded in everything that we do, data becoming the new gold, Swift becoming the all-seeing eye, being able to know you better than you know yourself. And how did we get here? We got here through the Hegelian dialectic, the divide and conquer. Remember, my people perish from the lack of knowledge because they reject it. Not because it's not there, because they reject it. And we have knowledge right at our fingertips. We get the news from the White House with Biden. Again, divide and conquer today. And this has been done all throughout history. If you want to gain power over millions of billions of people, bring them against one another, and you'll always be able to conquer them. You will always be able to create an illusion, something that you know is not the truth, but gear them towards that, so therefore they believe it. And we see it done in social media all day. And what's the most powerful piece is that now they have bots that are now able to push the Hegelian dialectic agenda. So if you're a millennial or Generation Z, you really don't know the truth unless you have an elder who's instilled the truth in you. Majority of families and relationships have been broken. And that's the reason why the crypto teacher tells you to get in the lab. Because the greatest deception is about to be revealed. And if you stand in the truth, you don't fall for the devil's tricks. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows. When it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.